Welcome, myself Darshini Jas, Assistant Professor, Department of Economics, Government First Grade College, Kyarpuram, Bangalore. The topic of this session is on Introduction to Public Expenditure and Wagner's Law. This is the first session in third chapter, Public Expenditure in Public Economics. This is the pattern of allocation. These are all the concepts we are going to study in the third chapter of public economics. The third chapter is public expenditure. The allotted hour is 12 hours. In this, we are going to study, starting from the introduction, means what is the why public expenditure is very much crucial. What is the role of public expenditure in the growing economy, and what are all the objectives it come up and classifications. And the second part of this session, we will study Wagner's Law. So the relationship between public expenditure and per capita income, national income, how they are related, we will study. In the next class, and the coming classes, we will study on canons of public expenditure, causes, effects, and finally the reform measures. What are the reform measures a government can come up? The reforms mainly focus on Indian context, central and state governments. What type of measures governments come up with in order to improve the quality of public expenditure. As we know, with the emergence of the concept of welfare, public expenditure gained more prominence. Public expenditure is the expenditure incurred by the public authorities like central, state, or local self-government. Any level of government, the expenditure incurred by the public authorities can be termed as public expenditure. With the emergence of the concept of welfare, modern states or welfare states, with that they have to perform enormous functions, enormous responsibilities they have to complete. So in that, huge amount of revenue they are in need. By using that revenue, they have to come up with several socio-economic development. They have to spend huge amount of money on socio-economic overheads. And in the growth process, the creation of capital asset is also very crucial, which requires huge sum of money. For that, government has to come up with public expenditure. The major objective is to attain economic growth. In the long, it has its own short-run and long-run commitments, goals, in order to attain growth, economic development. So, for all this, government is spending money in an increasing rate. Public expenditure is increasing at a constant and continuous basis. An upward shift can be noticed. So, if you look into the public expenditure, can be broadly categorized into capital expenditure and revenue expenditure, considering the Indian context. So, capital expenditure used for the creation of asset, and revenue expenditure to incur day-to-day administrative expenses and current expenses. So, considering the views of the classical economists regarding the role of public expenditure, they prefer lesser government intervention in economic activities. As per the classical economist, government should restrict itself to provide security, internal and external security to its citizens, and it has to maintain law and order. It should restrict for those activities only, as per the classical economist. But in the post-recession 1929-30, Keynesian views gained more prominence. In Keynesian and post-Keynesian views largely differ compared to classical economists. As per Keynes, government should interfere in economic activities. It has to make huge investment. It has to spend money to create employment opportunities, especially during fiscal period of recession. It is the responsibility of the government to create more employment opportunities to enhance effective demand. So, as per Keynes, budget can be utilized as an effective tool in the growth process in order to create employment opportunities, to make more investment in social economic overheads. Overall, compared to classical economists, the remaining economists, they say government should interfere in economic activities to a larger extent. So with that, government activities increased over the period of time. So in the growth process, along with economic growth, it is very much essential to maintain equitable distribution of wealth and resources. In that, public expenditure plays a very crucial role. If you consider some facts on public expenditure in India, expenditure is total overall expenditure, whether it is a central government or state government expenditure, increasing at a rapid rate compared to increase in the revenue. Both revenue expenditure as well as capital expenditure increased, and with reform measures, with the recommendation of Wealth Finance Commission, state governments spending more and more on capital outlay. In the meanwhile, due to some economic shocks, exogenous shocks like global recession, COVID-19 impact had an adverse impact on economic situation. So in order to come out from those crises, government has to make huge investment, especially during recession or global recession, some pandemic situation. It will be the responsibility of the government to make more investment to improve the standard of living of its citizens. In order to provide some basic services, government has to make huge investment. So with it, unexpected, unforeseen reasons, it become more inevitable for the government to increase its volume of spending. Along with this, government has to bear its day-to-day administrative expenditure and debt servicing. It has to spend some amount of money. It has to make spending. It has to go for revenue expenditure. So it increases the volume of revenue expenditure. As per the recent statistics or BI data of 2019, states discretionary spending, excluding the committed spending, interest receipts. Discretionary spending remained at around 13% of GDP in the pre-global financial crisis period. All around, it's remained more than 13% of GDP. It shows government is spending large sum of money for committed spending, in order to bear its committed expenditure. In the meanwhile, it is spending money for development purpose, and in order to meet its administrative expenses, government is spending huge sum of money in terms of public expenditure. Followed by the recommendation of 12th Finance Commission and formation of several committees like FRBM Act, which was implemented in 2004, Fiscal Responsibility Budget Management Act in India. With that, several governments, central and state governments, followed fiscal consolidation measures. They come up with fiscal correction measures to reduce the volume of revenue expenditure and increase the quality of spending, increase the volume of capital expenditure. They try to improve, they try to bring quality in their spending. In this process, we can notice heterogeneity across the states. Some states were able to improve their capital expenditure by putting curb on revenue expenditure. Some states could not able to improve their capital expenditure and not even succeed to reduce their revenue expenditure. And in several states, with expenditure compression measures, they even reduce the capital expenditure along with total expenditure. Such heterogeneity can be noticed across the states. Overall, in the post-FRBM period, till 2015-16, we can notice some progress, especially in the post-FRBM period. Several states experienced revenue surplus in their revenue account. But in the last decade, due to several structural reform measures, structural changes, along with COVID-19 pandemic, it had a very adverse impact on states' revenue mobilization, and even it enhanced government spending obligation both at the central and state level. So in this situation, it has become very essential to readjust, reprioritize their spending obligations in order to properly manage their budget, in order to reduce the resource gap or to control the rising gap with the total expenditure revenue. Government badly need to properly prioritize its spending obligations, both at central and state level. Overall, we can say that total expenditure, the volume of expenditure increased, and followed by the FRBM Act, several states improved their quality of spending up to some extent. And with the changing economic conditions, government activities are also increased, and government is spending huge sum of money on several activities, several sectors, different sectors. And we can notice along with this, overall, the consequence is growing basic resource gap. Then what are the objectives of public expenditure as per Musk review? Why the government has to go for public expenditure? As I told earlier, government expenditure, the major objective of the government is to maximize the social welfare of the society as a whole. For that, it has to bear some administrative cost, providing law and order maintenance of law and order, and providing security to its citizens. It has to bear the cost. And public administration. So with larger the size of the government has to spend large sum of money in order to maintain its administrative staff, serving of public debt in order to repay the debt along with interest. The government has to make more spending, that to committed spending, and reallocation of resource and provision of social goods. Social goods, the provision of social goods, government plays a very crucial role. That is the foremost responsibility of the government. Due to its nature, several private sector may not be, they may not willing to make investment in this area. In that situation, it is the foremost responsibility of the government to come up with its spending obligations, to provide basic services, health, education, some basic services, potable water, sanitization. So several services government has to make, construction of roads, bridges. That will be the major responsibility of the government with the concept of welfare. Reduction of income inequality. So along with the growth, several countries experience, especially the developing countries, experience income inequality. In that situation, it is the foremost responsibility of the government to reduce income inequality through redistribution of income and wealth in favor of vulnerable section. With that, some extent it can maintain income equality. Ensure price stability. In the growth process, commonly we can notice variations in the prices, which will have a very adverse impact on growth. In that situation, it is the foremost responsibility of the government to maintain price stability in order to attain growth. So in that situation, expenditure can be used as an effective tool to reduce or maintain price stability, especially during inflation and deflation situations. And government, through its spending, it can encourage domestic industries to produce more commodities, provide more services, and even it can encourage the private investors to make more investment with the use of public expenditure by providing basic services. It can stimulate private investors to make more investment. Overall, with these objectives, when the government come up with these objectives to make spending, economic growth can be attained. The speed and the volume of growth mainly depends on for what purpose, what are the major objectives of the government, and for what purpose the government is spending. Then come to the part of classification, how the public expenditure has been classified. Public expenditure has been classified into two major categories: revenue expenditure, capital expenditure. In revenue expenditure, social services, economic services, and granting aid. In social expenditure, health, education, urban development are the subcategories. In economic, agriculture, industry, mineral, or the energy, and several other subcategories. Granting aid, government provide funds to the lower level of governments in terms of granting aid. It is non-obligatory in nature for lower level of government. And capital expenditure part, development outlay, non-development outlay, loans and advances, and the discharge of debts. These are the major classification or categories of Indian public expenditure. So in detail, if you look into the definition, proper definition, revenue or current expenditure, expenditure incurred for administrative purpose, defense expenses, and for debt servicing can be termed as revenue expenditure. This type of expenditure is incurred to finance its day-to-day activities. Mainly it is not utilized for the creation of assets, whereas the capital expenditure results in the creation of capital assets like physical provision of physical and financial assets. and the reduction of financial liabilities also this capital expenditure is utilized, like construction of public dams, roads, street lights, several public works. And we can't say that revenue expenditure is not helps in the economic development. Indirectly, it helps with improving the human capital. In capital expenditure, directly impact on development with the creation of capital assets. And come to the another category, planned and non-planned expenditure. Planned expenditure is incurred on the programs which are detailed under the current year, whereas the non-planned expenditure, the estimated expenditure provided in the budget for spending during the year on routine functioning of the government. Such classification of planned and non-planned expenditure was removed in 2017. Since 2017, no such bifurcation of planned and non-planned expenditure exists. Because of such bifurcation, there was a bias among the governments while spending on development on planning or non-planned activities. So in order to remove that bias, in order to have a fragmented view of resources allocation to schemes, such in order to enhance the accountability, such bifurcation has been removed in Indian context from 2017. Since 17, no such bifurcation like planned expenditure and non-planned expenditure. Only the revenue expenditure and capital expenditure exist. So far we discussed the objectives of public expenditure and classification. In the next we will discuss the theory of growth of public expenditure. There are several theories we can come across. They explain the reasons or the trend in public expenditure. One among is Wagner's law. Wagner is a German economist. Adolf Wagner, his period is 1835 to 1970. Mainly, he explained the tendency or trend in public expenditure. His hypothesis of law of increasing state activities. As per his hypothesis, with increase in the national income, public expenditure also increases. The ratio of public consumption expenditure also increases. It increases both extensive or in intensive manner. So it predicted a positive relationship between the development of industrial economy. Along with that, it predicted increase in the share of public expenditure along with the development. Because of three reasons he point out. One is the social activities. Government has to provide several social services, social security measures, health, education has to need to be provided. For that, government expenditure increases and government has to bear administrative cost and need to secure its citizens. For that, it has to spend. And along with the welfare concept, government functions increased over the period of time. For all these reasons, he says it predicted a positive relationship between spending and economic development. So as per Wagner, the ratio of public consumption expenditure increases with increase in the national income. As the economy grows at a faster speed, in the same way, public expenditure also increases. He noticed a positive correlation between the level of economic development and the level of public expenditure, whether it is a public revenue expenditure or capital expenditure. For both the reasons, it increases. So he categorized the public expenditure into two categories. One is expenditure on internal and external security in order to secure its citizens, internally and externally. Government has to make spending. Meanwhile, expenditure on culture and welfare in providing basic services like health, education, transportation, road, construction of bridges, dams, for welfare program with the concept of welfare to maximize the social welfare of the people. Government has to incur so many expenses. So we broadly categorize expenditure on internal and external security and expenditure on culture and welfare. In other words, you use the concept, the term income elasticity of expenditure for public goods. Like it is elastic as per Wagner because with increase in the income, people demand for more goods and services. Their saving level of saving increases, they demand for more goods and services, elasticity of demand or effective demand increases. With that, more production and more production takes place. For that, government investors has to recruit more number of workers, employers. So with that, again, their level of income, their level of saving increases. Again, they start demanding for more and more goods. Like in this chain reaction, say a circle. This process leads to a positive correlation between the economic development and public expenditure. As per Wagner, government sector has to encroach the private sector due to three reasons. One is the public sector can provide service with better quality. As per Wagner only, public sector can provide the services with good quality, better quality. And the second one, public sector can have access, can easily access the capital, huge sum of capital, and it could administer larger units. That is the capacity of public sector. It is in larger size, the size of with increase in the size of the government, public sector, it can accumulate more capital at ease and it can properly administer the growing expenditure obligations. And the third one, market imperfections can be reduced with government interference. So, due to three reasons, he says public sector should encroach the private sector. Continuing this, he says there are several factors and several factors influence or affect the demand and supply of public expenditure. Capital income, density of population, the growth rate of the population. So several factors affect on economic expenditure. They force the government to move with more and more expenditure along with the process of growth. In that, it categorizes the demand side factors which influence the public expenditure and supply side factors which influence the public expenditure. In demand side factors, urbanization, industrialization, literacy, distribution of income. These factors, the demand for urbanization, increased demand for industrialization, increased awareness among the people. So, the obligation of equal distribution of income, these creates demand, necessitates increase the volume of public expenditure. From the supply side, intergovernmental transfers, availability of resources, quality of the production, scale of production. With all these, the government services increase. Like this, the supply side factors helps in the increase in the volume of expenditure. When they get more and more revenue, when the production increases, when the employment increases, so automatically the demand for more services, automatically it enhances the volume of public expenditure. So both the demand and supply side factors influence in their own way in the growth of public expenditure. So overall, Wagner says that public expenditure is very crucial due to several reasons. But this hypothesis not free from demerits. It has its own limitations. The first one is this theory lacks interdisciplinary approach. It does not take into consideration the political, historical, and social factors into consideration while explaining the concepts in its analytical analysis. And the second one, it lacks with comprehensiveness in its analysis. And third, it ignores the influence of war on public spending. And finally, it stress on long-term trend of public economic activities and short-term necessities and obligations are ignored. Overall, along with these demerits or criticism with respect to Wagner's hypothesis, we can say that he explains the existing correlation, positive correlation between public expenditure and economic growth. As per Wagner, public expenditure, the volume of expenditure increases with increase in the total growth, economic growth, which can easily notice in all the economies. It is relevant now. So overall, so far we discussed what is public expenditure, why it is very much essential, what are all the objectives of public expenditure, and with Wagner's law, we discussed how the public expenditure as well as the public development, economic growth are positively related. Overall, we can say that public expenditure is an effective tool. It can be utilized by the government for the welfare of the society as a whole. So the proper management helps to attain long-term as well as short-term objectives of economic development. So with this, I will end today's session.